What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. Worlds is always super hyped up due to the awesome competition, huge prize pool, and how rarely it occurs, and we always get some crazy upsets. Everyone loves an underdog story, myself included, so let's take a look at the top 5 underdogs at Worlds. With this list, I was pretty lenient in terms of which teams actually qualified as an underdog, and really it fell into the category of just teams who are not favored when it comes to winning the tournament. Heading into the event, Korea and China are definitely the favorites and the strongest regions for the most part, and so as we count on the list, we'll be measuring these underdogs by how likely it is for them to win the entire tournament on paper, or at the very least, make a deeper run into the semi-finals. Let's get started. Number 5 is AHQ Esports Club. Although they have been repeatedly underperforming a bit in scrims, Taiwan as a region is looking reasonably prominent heading into this tournament. We've yet to see a strong performance from a Taiwanese team at Worlds since the Taipei Assassins' upset win in the Season 2 World Championship, but with their aggressive playstyle that stems from their neighbors in China, it's possible that they will perform well against unprepared teams who underestimate them. Westor and Ziv are going to have to step it up a bit for AHQ to win some games in a tournament that is stacked in the mid and top lane roles, but if they can find the right matchups and the right fights, they can get a snowball rolling to easily carry the game with their aggressive playstyle that takes full control when given a lead. It's going to be tough, but with a couple of the right scenarios, AHQ can upset their group and have a chance to make it out. Number 4 is Counter Logic Gaming. North America is arguably the weakest region other than the wildcard regions heading into this tournament, but CLG have reportedly been dominating scrims, and many Korean and Chinese teams are praising their play quite heavily heading into this tournament. The visa drama with Xmithie potentially hurt their chances as a team quite a bit, as they did spend a lot of time practicing with Huhi, but Xmithie will be joining CLG for the group stages, and the team has really stepped it up this season in terms of strategy and mental preparation. In addition, CLG appears to have one of the easier groups for the group stage, so they definitely have a solid chance of at least making it to the top 8. I'm skeptical to see how the playstyle of North America fares in a tournament that is shaping up to be very top focused, but CLG's performance in the NA Regionals at Madison Square Garden was extremely impressive to me, and if CLG plays in a similar way, they can possibly see some very nice success at Worlds. However, CLG as a team has struggled with consistency and playing for high stakes in the past, so they'll have to come together as a team with some awesome mental power if they want to win some games. Number 3 is Origin. This European squad gave us a surprisingly impressive performance at the European Regional Playoffs, and a lot of the Origin players have a proven history of being able to consistently step up when it counts on the big stage. They fall behind a bit when we take a look at their group, as Origin certainly has a much harder group stage than some of the other teams on this list, but the players on the team have proved that they can step it up when it counts, and we have to remember that this is a team that was one win away from getting first place in Europe. With TSM looking to have some internal issues and KT Rolster having some weaknesses in certain positions, it's going to be up to Origin to play to the weaknesses of their opponents the best they can and adapt to the Eastern meta to win games. They can definitely steal some games with their large champion pools in the mid and in the top lanes by pulling out some off-meta strategies to surprise their opponents and take some upsets off of any team in their group. Number 2 is the Yowie Flash Wolves. Being the second place Taiwanese team, it's a little bit surprising to see them so far above AHQ, but they are reportedly dominating scrims while AHQ isn't doing so well in them. Also, the Yowie Flash Wolves appear to have a much easier group than a lot of the other teams, and with Taiwan as a region looking to have a lot of potential with their aggressive style in general, the Flash Wolves certainly have the tools to work with to win games and make it out of groups to try for a run at the semi-finals. They'll have to take advantage of their early game aggression coming from the Taiwanese meta to start the snowball rolling, as they could lose out in the macro game and in rotations to some of the more strategical oriented teams in their group. However, Maple and Stake are strong enough players to be able to carry the team if given a lead, and could certainly catch some teams off guard. The Flash Wolves will have to rely on their best players to step up and carry the team if they plan on coming out ahead in their groups and in the playoff round. And number 1 is Fnatic. Although they might be a favorite to win their group stage, they certainly aren't a favorite to win the entire tournament based on the perceived strength of Europe as a region and the past dominance of Korea. But coming off of an insanely dominant, undefeated LCS season, Fnatic is looking to have a lot of potential to make a deep run with the backing of their home crowd. They have a strong player at every single position and seem to do a good job of pulling their team together to win teamfights and have very consistent performances. Let's not forget that this is a team who almost beat SK Telecom in a best of 5 just a few months ago, and even though their performance in the European regionals was not as good as some might have hoped, they are likely to have a somewhat easy time making it out of groups, and they have all the tools a team could want to make a deep run to win the entire tournament. They have no weak links at any position, so we'll have to see if their teamwork and strategy can match up to the more disciplined Korean and Chinese favorites. I'd actually look to Fnatic's coaching and support staff to step it up and innovate some picks and counterplay the Eastern playstyle if Fnatic wants to have a good shot of winning at this tournament, since playing the Western strategies will likely leave them behind the more comfortable and practiced teams. But they're looking to have the best chance of winning that a team from the West has had since Moscow 5 at the Season 2 World Championship. With Febiven's solo kills on Faker, Huni being a dominant laner, Reckless carrying teamfights, and Rainover and Yellowstar bringing some fantastic support to the team, it's going to be up to their players to come together and find ways to strategically outplay their opponents and identify and snowball every single minuscule lead that they can find. If they let their leads go to waste or if they fail to find unpredictable strategies, Fnatic will have a hard time finding the wins that they might want, but for now, I will enjoy cheering for the North American and European teams at this tournament all the way until the very end.